What's up, vlog? Yesterday I did another live stream answering some crypto questions. If you're not part of the Facebook group yet, find us on Facebook. Facebook.com/groups/Crypto Club Canada. Even if you're not Canadian, join the group. We're answering a lot of questions. It's a great group. We're not trying to shill you on anything, but if you do want to support us, the videos that I do, the group, click one of the links down below. That'll support the channel, the group, and to keep growing. Thank you very much to everybody supporting us so far. Yesterday on the live stream, we talked about who I follow on Twitter, what crypto accounts are good to follow, what altcoins I see being big this year, and also how to do stop limit losses on Coinigy. Without further ado, let me get right to the live stream. I'll get back to you guys after. Thanks for tuning in. All right, so let's answer some questions and hopefully the room will fill up. So what are good resources of information about cryptos? Honestly, I'm on Twitter all day. The good thing about Twitter is no matter who you follow, everybody's into the same stuff, more or less. Like if something's happening in Hong Kong, if something's happening in the US, everybody kind of talks about it. There's a lot of biases as well. You know, there's a lot of loyalty towards certain coins. A lot of people like to get romantic about a lot of things. A lot of people like, say like Bitcoin Cash over the original Bitcoin. That could be like a lot of trouble because you're falling into those biases on Twitter. So to try to find I'm all over the place with who I follow on Twitter. Some of the parody type accounts are kind of funny. There's a great Twitter account called Little Uzi Vert Coin. He's a good caller. Crypto Cobain, he's a good caller. There's a lot of really cool Twitter accounts, but that's the thing is, like I said, there's a lot of biases on Twitter. Bully's a good guy. Kazanomics is a good guy. But the views are all over the place. So then you have like the founder of Tron is on here, and like most of his stuff, his live streams all come from on Twitter and Periscope. So any of the stuff that he's saying is coming out live. The Twitter crypto community is huge, so huge that you can look for, instead of hashtags, you put your coin with the dollar sign in front and you'll get the most latest tweets about these coins. Of course, you have a lot of bots in here, so I often like go through and I will often like block a lot of these bot type accounts that share affiliate marketing links. What I suggest is finding like a couple of good guys that I just mentioned, like a Little Uzi Vert Coin, Crypto Cobain, Bully, Wolf of Poloniex. These guys, they're gonna tweet at each other, and then you're gonna go down the rabbit hole of, you don't want to follow like Twitter accounts like this. This is a bot. This is gonna send you to get an affiliate link, and what you want to do every time you come across one of those is just block one of these guys and then move on to trying to find stronger Twitter accounts to follow. I'm on here I'm literally sitting on Twitter all day. These guys are tweeting about the same stuff. The news is news to all Twitter accounts. So you'll see a lot of these guys like tweeting at each other, and then they'll give suggestions. This great girl here is great. Litecoin Queen, she's great. She's a lot of fun to follow. Crypto Rand, he's a Potato Gruff CEO of Doge. Crypto Cobain is the guy I was just saying. See, these guys are all going to be tweeting at each other, and then you'll go down the hole of like I said, Twitter's a lot of bias. There's a lot of people talking shit. A lot of these people, some of these people have thousands of followers, and when they make a tweet, it affects the market huge. And you got to understand that like some of these things are pump and dumps. Some of these things are legit calls, and you got to figure that out on your own. That's something you got to figure out on your own. You can't be like trading on crypto and like not be on Twitter, in my opinion. Another question here: how to do a stop limit order on Binance in selling and buying? So that's a great question because every website's a little different. So I'm gonna give you an answer that'll answer everything. The answer is don't use it. Use Coinigy. If you look below in the links, the best charting system. This is the website here. If you use a link, it helps out the channel. If you use the link below, it helps out the channel, so I appreciate it if you do. And what Coinigy does is it lists every single exchange that, well, every big exchange. So on the side here are all the exchanges, and then if you click on one of these exchanges, so we'll go to BitMEX or Binance. Let's go to Binance, since a lot of people are Binance users. And there's the Cardona or whatever it is, an ADA. So you can go over here and you can set yourself trade alerts. But how does it work with your exchange? Well, if you go, let's go to Binance. I don't know exactly because I haven't hooked up Binance yet with it. But there's a thing called an API. You need to give Coinigy access to your trading account. And there are lots of ways to use an API. You can use an API to hook up a trading bot. You can use an API to hook up a lending bot. An API just and APIs are used everywhere. You ever logged into a website using the one-click Facebook button? That's an API. So what you need to do is you need to find your API and hook it up to the Coinigy account. And there's going to be lots of Facebook or lots of YouTube tutorials on how to do that for each website. Each website's a little different, but adding it in here is easy. And then once you have that added in here, all you need to do is go in here and stop limit. And every single exchange then is the same way. And you can use this for every, like, if you guys are wondering if Quadriga is on here, you can even use that on Quadriga. Like, even though it's a small exchange, here it is. You can hook up. Quadriga's got an API to hook up with Coinigy as well. It's literally whatever. All of these here are exchanges. All of these here on the side are exchanges. And when you click onto one, you see all the coins that they have. And once you're connected to an exchange through the API, trading, buying and selling, setting alerts, all of it is the same way because the interface is the same. And this stuff is pretty much real time. Some people talk about there is a bit of a lag with the delay of the API per site. That's something you're gonna have to figure out by yourself. But I use Coinigy for setting my alerts, and then I trade. I don't set sell limits or buy limits. I use alerts right from Coinigy, and then I do it manually myself. So that's my answer to how do we do a stop order on Binance. I just say use Coinigy and get around the whole method like that. I like to see what altcoins you recommend, the best way to manage your portfolio. I use Blockfolio currently. So day to day, for my storage at home, I use a Jax wallet. I don't use it too often because the transaction fees are a little high on the Jax wallet, but it does allow for me to sync easily with my phone. I have it easily backed up. And you got to remember that wallets, like your wallet kind of lives more on the blockchain than it does on your phone. Your phone is just the tool to get access to it. The computer is just your tool to get access to it. So you got to remember that when using, like, having like a one place, like maybe a ledger, you want to use a ledger, that's great. That's but if you give that the private key out, you might as well not. So don't ever buy a used ledger, because somebody's probably got that private key and they're going to steal your stuff. And that's the purpose of, like, never having if you have like a hard wallet, like a ledger, you never want to give up that private key because you're the only one that knows it. You have it stored maybe somewhere locked up in a safe somewhere with it. Like, you know, you want to have your ledger and your password saved 3 different places, like safe places, written down manually. So that way you have some type of manual recollection to it, and you don't misspell it when you write these things down. That's really important. Like, the number one way to get locked out of the number one way to lose your finances is locking yourself out of it. And a lot of people will say they got hacked and blah, blah, blah. But a lot of times people lose their passwords. They can't get into it. So make sure that if you're going to use like something, make sure you have multiple ways to get into it, like a Jax wallet will allow you to do. A Jax wallet also uses multiple different private key addresses, so that way if anybody ever checks to see your balances, they don't know your full account, because they're using multiple, but it's all connected through a 12-word passphrase that you remember, and you use Jax as your tool. That's what I use. The altcoins that I recommend are all over the place, and what I like to do is go to CoinMarketCap. If you don't know CoinMarketCap is going to give you a rundown of all the cryptocurrencies and their market caps. Market capitalizations. What are market capitalizations? Well, market capitalizations are the price of the coin multiplied by how many there are in supply. That equals your market cap. So you can see here what's the 24-hour volume? Well, the volume, that's how much gets traded, how much was traded back and forth. But the market cap altogether of all cryptocurrencies is $750 billion. It sounds like a lot, but in the world of investments and tradings, this is small. Out of all of that, Bitcoin's dominance is 33.9%. So you can see, while looking at this list, everything else other than Bitcoin is an altcoin, no matter what anybody else says. And there's a difference between coins and tokens. Coins and tokens are issued completely differently because, well, coins and tokens are used differently. Sometimes tokens are an issue of a security from a company, instead of going through a legal route of getting an initial public offering through a stock. They will use blockchain technology, and they will sell a token. A coin is used as a currency, and as you can see, the difference between these coins and these tokens. Some of these, you heard some places say that they will only exchange coins, and they won't be exchanging tokens. And so, looking through this list, you can see ADA is now number 5 on the coins list. I think ADA is going to have a great year. ADA, in case you don't, so Ethereum has this great technology behind it called electronic contracts, and electronic contracts allows you to be able to issue out some of the power of your Ethereum. I'm going to purchase tokens. And the Ethereum wallet can organize your tokens within itself. So within the Ether wallet allows you to store tokens. As I was saying, you can store it through this electronic contract. You've written a contract with one of these companies that I will give you so much amount of Ethereum, you're going to give me so much amount in tokens, and these tokens are aligned within your wallet. The technology to do this is all through the blockchain, and the payment system is Ethereum throughout this blockchain system and the electronic contract system. One of the founders of Ethereum started Cardano, and it is only like 4 months old, and it is already jumped up into the 5th spot. Of course, we have Litecoin. IOTA is a different way of, instead of using a blockchain mining system, what it does is every time that you send a confirmation, or every time you send a transaction, you process 2 confirmations for everything else behind you. So going forward, it's this exponential rate of confirming. For every time you send a transaction, it does 2 confirmations, and you don't have to have miners, and then you no longer have the fees. So this is a different way to use these blockchain systems, these confirmation methods. Why is it listed as XBT on Quadriga? Well, that's a great question. So Quadriga is a fiat exchange. It's not just a Bitcoin exchange. And since it's a fiat exchange, there's rules that fiat currency follow. So fiat currency, except for like the euro and a couple of others, they all follow this method of a country code and then the symbol for the currency. So it's Canadian, it's CA, because that's our country code. CAD is our dollar. In the US, it's USD, AUD for Australians. Well, what happens when you have a currency that isn't from a country? What do I mean by that? Well, I mean like silver or gold. What do they use? They use an X and then their elemental symbol, right? So like, or maybe perhaps another symbol if I can't think of another currency right now, but gold is XAU. And that's because if it's a currency that's not from a country. So with some of these exchanges that deal with the fiat dollar, will be using a symbol as XBT to show that it is a currency that's not from a country, because they're using that to exchange directly with fiat. XBT and CBT are exactly the same. And when you are buying XBT, you are buying Bitcoin. So do not worry, that they are exactly the same. That's a great question though. And I also want to point out while I'm touching on that, because I want to let you know that when you buy something from an exchange, you're not the owner of it until you take it off of the exchange. I want you to know that, because what happens if the exchange goes down? What happens if there's no liquidity within the exchange? What if they're lying about how much they hold and you try to move some of your NEO out or whatever it is that you're holding, you're trying to hold out, and they don't have it? So what you want to be able to do is to be able to pull your money out when you can. If you're holding long term, if you're holding long term, if you're buying for like looking at it in 5 or 10 years from now, you need to get one of these wallets that you're going to be able to manage on your own. Do not hold it on an exchange. Yeah, you know what? Everybody's waiting for Quadriga verification. Everybody's going to have to keep on waiting. I know nobody wants to, but the truth is, you don't want to get into a situation where, like I said, you're waiting for. You don't want any excuse for these exchanges to not give you your money. And so, if you get locked out, say you like lose your two-factor authorization to log in, and they need to verify who you are, and you haven't done that yet. You haven't sent in a passport. You haven't done anything like that. You're gonna be locked out, and you're gonna have to wait longer and longer. You don't want to have any problems with your accounts. That's what I'm saying. So like, to go through these verification processes, like, I don't even use like Kraken, but I'm verified on there. Why? Because in case I need to be. And so like, any of these exchanges that you see, if you don't think that you're going to use them, sign up on them, register, get your verification in. Sometimes like Binance lets you allow to withdraw up to 2 Bitcoin without being verified. For some of you may be like, oh man, 2 Bitcoin, but like, if you're investing more than 2 Bitcoin and you can't get your money out, that's going to be a problem. So this is what you want to do. Like, you want to be able to do that all the time. You want to be able to verify, and it's going to take some time. Like, it is the flood of Christmas money, the flood of Big Bang Theory. It's the peak of. But here's the thing: it's not even peak. Less than 2% of the world is using cryptocurrency right now, and they say like, if 5% of the world starts using it, it's going to be, Bitcoin should be around $50,000, just by the scarcity and the percentage of people. So like, you're still an early adopter, even though you think you're not. And everybody to think that you need to get in here now, you're going to miss out on an opportunity, you're wrong. You're wrong, and I guarantee you, I saw a post today that said that somebody was FOMOing, fear of missing out. If you see me post that, it's fear of missing out. FOMO is a big driving. You don't want to trade with emotion. You want to trade with smarts. You want to trade with calculation. And I mean, if you want to invest, if you're investing, like, sure, maybe it's not going to matter in 5 or 10 years if you bought like at $2 versus $3. But it actually, it could, because say if it goes to $30, say if it goes to $300, that 2 versus that 3 multiplied out is like how much you increased your money by. You want to have the smaller buy, or if you are buying, you want to be able to layer your money in, so that way you're always getting a smarter and smarter buy. With me, I even cashed out my Bitcoin because I'm trading to acquire more and more Bitcoin. And who's to say that if I was to cash out now at $15,000, that it wouldn't be worth 50 in a year or two from now, and I'd be missing out. So I don't trade looking at the US dollar of these coins, Canadian dollar of these coins. I trade strictly to get more Bitcoin, so that when Bitcoin does have its top, its peak, it's whatever you want to call it, its blow off top, it's run up high, whatever you want to call it, then you can start layering out because you've acquired so much. This isn't going to be like one of these get rich, you're going to throw in money and like cash out fast. What you want to do is acquire wealth. You don't want to get rich, you want to acquire wealth. And there's a difference. And the people who acquire wealth know how to diversify their investments. They know how to split it out. They know when to get in and get out. They have a target. And that's the thing, is like, you can't chase. If you had an idea on something and you were right 2 days later, but you didn't get in, just take that knowledge knowing you were right, and next time follow your gut, perhaps. Or perhaps you, like, of course, we're going to take a look while we're here at the Wall Street cheat sheet, especially with Bitcoin. Like, why sell off at the dollar when you don't know if it's going to, like, why sell if you don't, because Bitcoin, it could keep on going up. When you see Bitcoin's chart in years from now, are you going to see these little dips? Or will they just look like, are they going to look like big dips? Are they going to look like little dips if this thing just keeps on going up, right? So you could buy here, and Bitcoin could be a great investment pretty much wherever you buy. But these other altcoins that you're trying to trade to get into, to acquire more Bitcoin, these are the things that you want to really pay attention to. And I saw somebody saying that, they didn't want to invest $50 seems like a lot. $50, it may seem like a lot to a lot of people. And it's perfectly justifiable. And so it may seem risky for you to want to invest your money. So I say, maybe hold out, try to save up to like $200 or $300, and then get that onto, or Quadriga will, in fact, you can throw that $50 on there and then layer in your buys at $5 and $10 amounts. So if it keeps up, if you buy here at $5, you can, the first time you ever buy Bitcoin, you want it to go lower. You want your Bitcoin to go lower the first time you buy, so you can buy more of it. And eventually you have your initial investment of $50 to, who knows, $50,000, whatever it is that you have. And you've layered in your initial investment. Once you have that, and you don't want to trade that for more USD, like, that's not the way that you want to trade Bitcoin. You want to trade it against another coin, another cryptocurrency. And a lot of people will always name off the dollar amount of what, like, oh, Ripple costs this much and Ripple costs that much. But you don't understand that the people that have been trading all of these altcoins for years have been following these charts for years, have been following these patterns for years. All of this stuff is psychological. And you need to understand, like, why these things happen. And I'm going to explain to you why these things happen. So I call it strong hands and weak hands. And strong hands will hold even when it rises up to here. When it rises up to here, the volume picks up. And why does the volume? Well, people found out that it's awakening up. And the people who have weak hands will sell here. And that's why you have hesitation. They'll sell here, and it's got to get through those sell orders. And as it's going through those sell orders, it may take a couple of days, it may take a week, it may take a month, whatever. But these people who have strong hands have held, and the trading volume picks up and picks up. And the people that are holding longer and longer and longer start to acquire through this point here and through this point here. And before you know it, there isn't much to go around, but the price has increased, so the volume looks more. And as this thing is more people are holding onto it for long term, the price has no point to go up. And the people who had strong hands through all of this point, benefit, and they hit their target. Who are they selling to? They're selling to people with weak hands. They're selling to people who buy it on here and see it here, who panic and sell. Those people who don't believe in it keep on running up. And if you're here holding on long term, you're just making this run up shorter. The people who hold here long term just make this run up shorter, or make it go on a different path and maybe a tighter curve, or you see as Bitcoin goes, it doesn't drop all the way down, it drops down and then goes back up and drop. And so the people who have more, this is all psychological. And so as it drops down and more people start acquiring it at that cheap price, the more and more people acquiring at that cheap price hold it for long term, wanting it to get back up there. So that means that those more and more people holding it long term have less and less for it to go around, meaning there's no point, but the price is going to go up. You understand that? That is less and less of it is in going around. People are going to pay more for it until it has this elasticity type bounce where it snaps and people buy in, and they hear about it on the news, and then they buy in at the top, and then they panic. But the smart person, this is what I'm trying to teach you guys, is that you don't want to buy in here as Ripple. What you wanted to do is buy into Ripple like 3 months ago when you watched it on. And here's the thing: is you don't. If you look at, let's go to Coinigy here. You see this? This is the exact same pattern, isn't it? Right? So this is on Bitfinex exchange. It ran its Ether to Ethereum to Bitcoin. And this is why Ethereum jumped from like a few $100s to now, like, what is it, like $1,200 right now? Is because on Bitcoin's at a new high than it was here. So when this chart, people trade it so heavily, the volume is so much there that people are psychologically trading this value. As it drops into that low, this peak here, that Wall Street cheat sheet, that one, like down here, like I said, the more people that hold it long term, the shorter that line is going to be. And a lot of people believe in Ethereum, so that trading volume, boof, it goes shooting up. So when was that? You could have bought Ethereum on December 8th and almost four times, it'll 4 times. It's going to go, even on this bounce up here, if you can imagine this, if it goes up to even up here, and you bought it down here, because you're looking at the chart like that, not in USD, you're looking at Ether to Bitcoin, and you're buying at this low. You don't want to be this guy up here. You want to be this guy down here. You don't want to look at it on USD. And it doesn't matter what the USD price of Bitcoin was either. If I told you that you buy what a Bitcoin was, no matter what price, you'd have, what is that? Almost 7 times, if it hits up here, that's almost 7 times your investment. If you dropped it in, if I could tell you could have that, if it's going to bounce up here by March 3rd. You know what I mean? That's That's silly. It doesn't matter what the USD price of these coins are. It doesn't matter what the USD price of these coins are. You want to trade these coins for more Bitcoin, and then when Bitcoin hits its peak in USD, you want to sell that Bitcoin. Don't get romantic about the rest of them. Bitcoin is always the king. Bitcoin will always be king. If you're registered verified on multiple exchanges and the prices have big differences, yeah. So I think Adam answered you right. Yeah, it's called arbitrage, and a lot of like that's done all over the world. Luckily, cryptocurrency is unregulated, so it's not like it's illegal, but it's not. It's not like it's legal, but it's not illegal. In the rest of the financial world, arbitrage is totally illegal. And the amazing thing about Coinigy that we've been talking about is that they actually have an arbitrage. Where is our matrix. So you can see your arbitrage opportunities here. But here's the thing: if you're going to do arbitrage, sometimes like the fees may not eat it. You can see the difference here. And all these exchanges. So what you want to do is you want to have money on all of these exchanges, and because eventually arbitrages will like balance themselves out, and you don't want to be able to cash out to like a token that you can't exchange out to. So like if say like you cash out on GDAX to the US dollar, they're not going to give you, GDAX doesn't pay Canadians, right? So you're going to eventually have to use that US dollar to buy back into another coin. So make sure that if you're going to do these arbitrage opportunities, that you have these arbitrage opportunities to can you change the market? Okay, I don't do much arbitrage, but I guess you can. You can change your market here, and then you can see that if you change from coin to coin, and then you can send that coin back to your original market. You got to be smart about it. You got to be smart about arbitrage. It's a little over my head. I'm not that smart. But yeah, that's a totally great question. What is a common mistake you see newcomers fall into? Not taking the time to learn. Too many people get rushed into it. When I got into it, I thought that I was gonna I made a few great trades when I first started out, but it's easy to be excited in a bull market. Being able to trade in a bear market is completely different. Learning how to have faith and conviction in your trades in a bear market is different, and buying into something that's going to go up doesn't make you a great trader. And great trades are only things that you take profit on. Any trade it doesn't matter if you take 5%, if you take 25,000%. You could take 25,000% on your $5. I could take 5% on 25 million. Who's making more money here? It doesn't really matter what your percentage is. As long as you're trading smart, and as long as you're trading with conviction, and you can't have a hope. Like, this can't be a gamble, and the only way that it's not a gamble is by using these fundamentals that we were showing in this group, by showing like the Wall Street cheat sheet, showing in how to layer in your buys, showing in how to set alerts, doing all of these things. Like it don't panic sell. And like Bitcoin, if you bought in at 20,000, I'm telling you right now, if you bought in at 20,000, Bitcoin could fall all the way to 5,000 and still be up 600% for the year. So just hold. And if you make smart, the only way to learn is by watching these charts, is by being involved. It's like hockey. You don't learn hockey by watching it. You need to be involved, and you need to be able to learn a couple of, maybe perhaps to learn these techniques. You want to layer in your USD to a Bitcoin, and you want to layer out in your cells to for your first few trades to see if you can acquire more Bitcoin. Or maybe you lose some Bitcoin. Maybe you lose USD value, maybe, but take that leap. Learn how to do this like with $50 at first, and consider that $50 gone, or whatever that minimum investment is for you. Consider that gone. Consider that like your night out at the bar, but consider that your new video game. But this is the thing: is like instead of playing and trying to get your kills, you're gonna play this video game. You're gonna play this one of making money and learning the techniques that the other guys learn, that they can make big profitable trades from. And I guarantee you it's the best video game you're gonna play. Guarantee it. Great question, Mike. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please feel free to use one of the links down below. If you are new to the group, give me a comment, give me a question for the next live stream. I'm happy to answer anybody's question. Just let me know. Thanks a lot, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. Well, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Please leave your questions for another live stream video down below. I'd love to answer any of your questions. Please support the channel. If you like what I do, please click one of the links below. Give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe, and I'll check in with you guys soon. Peace.